We are in a rental car. Things did not go as planned at Sequoia National Park.
And then her two looks right for you.
Excuse me.
Yep, there's five.
You can't back up.
Okay. We are in a rental car. Things did not go as planned at Sequoia National Park. Initially, we were going to take Steve Harvey up the mountains, deeper into Sequoia National Park. However, although it is probably like 76, 80 degrees down here in Three Rivers and the surrounding towns, Visalia, it is probably 40s, 20s up in the top of the mountains, and they just received snow. A lot of the roads are closed due to weather damage and being iced over. And you can probably go up maybe about 20 miles into the park. However, because of some of the switchbacks and the windier roads, longer vehicles can't go to the top of Sequoia National Park because the back end of the RV spills over into oncoming traffic. So you can only imagine the nightmare that is you coming up one lane, turning a sharp corner, someone coming down the actual other lane, and they see just bikes and Steve Harvey's butt hanging over into their lane, and there's really nothing we can do. Don't want to cause any accidents, and it is a terrifying drive. Now, we went on a hike, and getting to that hike was a bit windy. It wasn't as bad as far as like turns go, but we're top heavy. It wasn't as bad, but it was hard to find parking, and maneuvering Steve Harvey was a bit difficult in the park. Was not expecting that at all. So we made a quick decision to go to get a rental car. Now, that rental car was supposed to be small. We weren't supposed to be in an SUV. I'm thinking Honda Accord. I don't know what small cars are anymore. Maybe we get something like the Night Buzzard. If you're new here and you don't know what the Night Buzzard is, the Night Buzzard was my 2015 Volkswagen GTI two-door. You know, something small, something cool. But when I got to Budget said, we don't have any small cars left, and the only thing I can give you is an SUV. My first question, being the cheapskate without a job, was, is there going to be a difference in price? No difference. Well, sign me up for an SUV then. This is a Monopoly chance card. I just flipped over and it said you get a free upgrade. So now I'm gonna run errands. I get to leave JJ and Waffles and Steve RV to do work. I don't have to take a bike. I can go do errands. So first errand is, I gotta go to Walmart. Driving something smaller than Steve RV has been kind of fun. There's not a lot of road noise like there is whenever we're on the highway from that side door. The music gets a bit louder. The seats are low, so I'm used to sitting high and looking down at the roads. Sitting low, kind of weird. I might try to jack that seat up, get real close like the old man from Up. We never saw him drive, but I feel like that's the way he would drive. I don't usually go in Walmart. I think we've gone a few times on the trip, but I gotta get some things. I want to look at pillows. I've been sucked into this internet thing of, they talk about sleeping wrong and neck pain, and today I sneezed and my neck hurt, and I'm gonna blame it on the way I sleep and the pillows that I have, which are really cheap, super cheap. And I don't think I can record in here, so I gotta go.
I got a Cruciante burger. I think it's a smash burger with grilled halloumi cheese on top.
You love a halloumi.
I love halloumi and onion rings.
What's this?
I think that's ranch that Mabu had.
And then this is Greek plate, gyro, hummus, warm pita, salad, feta, olives. Get out of here, olives. We don't do that. And these aren't Steve keys. We're doing something a bit different with this one.
Get out of here, raw onions. We don't do raw onions.
All right. Bone apple tea.
Okay, there's some kind of like, I don't know if you could see that, but like maybe like a tomato jam or something.
Oh, okay. Go first bite. What do we got?
Ooh, maybe like some kind of an onion jam or something. Let's see how this is.
It's a good bite.
Oh my god. It's so salty, delicious. I love it. I don't know how to describe it, but I think it's often grilled. And you can just pan fry it up and it gets this nice browning on it without melting.
It's got some good lace on that patty.
Yeah, so I don't know if halloumi cheese is like low moisture content or what, but usually it's served grilled and it's delicious.
I'm gonna get a little bite of gyro, some hummus, gyro if you're nasty. Honestly, that meat is tender. And this hummus got a good tang to it. All right, so we're gonna enjoy this. Be back.
I'm doing research for going into Sequoia National Park tomorrow. So I've got the big map open that we got at the ranger station from the first time we already went into a different section of the park. Because I'm looking at the map at the area that we're going to go tomorrow, the General Sherman tree, which I think is the biggest tree or the second biggest tree. And it's also is the
in
area
the park or the world? Or in the United
world,
States?
In the world.
In the world?
By volume. It's the biggest tree in the world by volume. Not by height, but by volume.
So like, it's a girthy boy.
It's a girthy boy.
Okay.
Yeah. So tomorrow we're gonna go see the girthiest tree in the world. Okay, and so it's also the area where there's like the most concentration of sequoias. So you kind of get in like the smallest space. So you kind of get the best bang for your buck.
3, 2, 1. Good morning. We are in what we've been calling Cedric the Eclipse Attainer. So this is a Mitsubishi Eclipse. Now, I typically make coffee at home. I love a home cold brew with our little ice cubes, but I don't often get the chance while JJ is still working to go out into the world, buy a coffee, and then come back. In addition, because we came into this coffee shop before, the staff here are really nice. So, I mean, shout out to the staff. It is also really good coffee. The barista today wrote a note for me of places that we can go. So adding to our list, we're gonna go to Crescent Meadows. We're gonna probably try to go to Lodgepole and Tocapa Falls, which he said might be frozen. That's even more exciting for us. And then Morrow Rock. And so we've seen Morrow Bay, which is completely different. Morrow Rock is a large granite dome with a couple of steps in it that like can take you up and you can like look out over it. If we can get to it and these places are open, we're definitely gonna try to hit it. And there might be snow, so stay tuned. All right, we're back. And I brought JJ into said.
Good morning.
Wait.
Good afternoon.
Into said, into Steve. Does it even make sense anymore?
We got a rental car named Cedric. Did you explain that?
I did.
Okay, then they know what's up. Right now we are going to Sequoia National Park. We are going to head up to an area known as the Giant Forest. It's where there's like a really high concentration of giant sequoia trees all in one area. So we're gonna go walk around there. That is also where I think it's called the General Sherman tree is. It's the biggest tree in the world by volume, not by height. So we're gonna check that out. I have picked a hike. It's really more of a walk through the woods and a meadow around that area so we can just see a bunch of the trees, and then after that we're just gonna adventure and see where the park takes us. There's a couple of other hikes that we could also choose from if we wanted to. So let's see what we get into. made it to the parking area for the General Sherman Tree Trail. That is where we're headed right now. It is a beautiful day up here. Down in the valley, I was sweating in shorts and a t-shirt. Up here, I got full puffy on. It's such a difference in temperature, and there's snow up here, as you can see. But it is a really beautiful day.
We got the Tough Twins. You got to read it like a wrestling promo.
Tough Twins!
Tough Twins. This pair of trees provides evidence that fires play a natural role in the life of giant sequoias. In fact, twin trees.
This says sequoia seedlings sprout by the thousands, but few survive.
They're like sea turtles.
Yeah.
Fires also kills many trees and other species that don't survive fire, as well as sequoias. Yeah, that feels like an obvious sentence. Fire also kills many trees and species that don't survive fires. I feel like they chat GPT this placard. Tell me about the species that can survive fires other than sequoia.
Dragons, phoenixes.
Like if they're just like, oh yeah, no, there's a black bear, and that bear is fireproof. We've tried, it's fireproof. There's a barrier up there. There's a barrier here. What's this trail that we're going on?
This trail is called, well, right now we're trying to take the Congress Trail, and nothing on All Trails says it's closed. People have been posting pictures like from 2 days ago, and
All
this
right.
doesn't say trail closed.
So we're just gonna hop this barrier. It might just be keep snowing. It's wet right there.
I know, I see it.
I made it. Let's go. So an interesting part about sequoias and the bark and the way that they grow is if a fire is hot enough to actually scar and burn the tree, it can still live through that. So this big tree root in the base of a tree was cut down in the 1950s because it was dying and threatened to fall over onto some cabins that they built in the park. But if you look at the actual rings, there are dark circles in certain parts of the base of the tree, and you can see over its thousands of years growing in the park how many fires it survived.
Thick fibrous bark insulates the tree from the killing.
Wait, so I'm gonna turn the camera to you. I want you to do this because I'm gonna play music over this part. Sorry.
Okay, so a cool thing that I didn't know about them is that they have really thick and fibrous bark that insulates them from the scorching heat of the fires, and also they don't have a lot of sap or pitch, so they're not super flammable, which is pretty cool. Okay, so we just turned off onto the Congress Trail, which is no longer like the paved touristy area of where the famous trees are. And so I think we're gonna be probably walking out in snow the rest of the way, which is pretty cool.
I'm not gonna hold you. Climbing hills and switchbacks that are covered in icy snow has not been super easy. Well, see, it is beautiful and I'm having a great time. We aren't that deep into a 4-mile hike, and already this has been just challenging based on foot placement. You gotta go really slow. And the elevation, you don't really feel it. I don't know. It's nice because with all of the people that are down at the General Sherman tree, there are probably a very small percentage of them who actually came on this hike. So far we've only passed 3 or 4 other people, which is pretty cool because it's quiet except for our footprints in the snow and the breeze in the trees.
Very peaceful out here. Welcome. Welcome to the room tree. It's got its own window.
It's a pretty big apartment.
If you put Steve up on its end, this is about how big it would be in our RV.
Yeah, that's about right. This is cool. Whoa. Gotta see what your balance is like, or else you're going in to drink.
You want a stick or something?
Let me see. I'm gonna book it. Hopefully I don't fall in.
Oh, take that, stand up paddleboarding. Okay, now I feel like I'm gonna be the one to eat shit here.
You want to take this flat one right here, where your foot's slightly submerged?
No, I think it will be too submerged. Here, take my jacket so that if I fall in,
You can stay warm.
I can stay warm.
Take my strong hand, child.
Balance, not my strong suit. Oh, God. I made it. Thank you.
That was actually pretty impressive. JJ is not known for being the best at jumping or balancing, so shout out. She stayed on her paddleboard and she stayed on that log. I can't say that I've done both.
I don't know. If I didn't have your hand to grab, I don't think I would have made it. I think on camera it probably looks like I could have just taken one step and made it drop. But let me tell you, that was harrowing.
So you're gonna see this section of the sequoias have been burned and their scars are super visible. There's even this one right here that might not have had the protection layers that it should have, so it kind of burned down. There's also these over here, also have a lot of fire damage. It's interesting to see just random trees that have burn marks and then other trees that don't. I mean, the fire had to be pretty bad. This tree over here, if you see this tree with a black line in the distance, you see how high the fire mark goes up. So this probably was a bad area for a wildfire. It smells like pine and sap, and I guess there has to be some sap trees. Or that's not a pine tree, is it? I see pine cones.
Those are from the sequoias.
Is it? All of these, well, these small ones aren't sequoias.
No, but those pine cones get dropped down.
Oh.
Because the sign was saying how they think the fires are one of the ways that the sequoias survive, because the heat from the fire dries out, like the heat goes up and sort of dries out the pine cones, and it gets them to open up and drop their seeds. And now there's ash all on the ground, so it's like a perfect seed bed for them. So that's one of the ways that they survive. The fire actually helps them.
If this snow was any softer, this hike might be annoying. It's pretty firm, but there are some deep places where you just kind of sink in almost to your kneecap, just like right there. So if you don't keep your feet shuffling or step in the wrong place, you definitely will, like that, sink. This is called Black Arch. You can see the burn damage from the inside of the tree, but it appears this tree is still alive. It has this big cavern in the middle, all of the burnt outside bark. But if you look at the top, it is still growing and developing pine cones. See them all dropping and fertilizing the ground. So even with this massive,
This is a big vagina.
even with this massive hole in the middle of the tree, this tree is still thriving. This has been the scariest part so far, just because it's hard to get your footing, and coming around these corners, I've already been slipping and sliding. So this is might not look that steep of a drop off, but it is pretty high. Say what?
It would hurt if you fell.
Definitely.
If you fall into a drift, it would be hard to get out.
Speaking of fall, got that. Here you go. We got it. This is how deep the snow is. That is at my kneecap. You good back there, JJ?
Yep.
Okay.
We did it.
You step right here. And we out.
think they work on one of these trees here too. Oh, good.
Back on paved road, 4 miles, 7,000 feet. Not an elevation gain, just general elevation. Maybe about, I would say, 2.5 feet of snow.
Yeah, it was up to our knees in some places.
Yeah. And then in parts where we weren't supposed to walk in, you could tell how deep it is. But now we're back on the trail and we're heading back to Seti, the Mitsubishi.
Yeah. Most of the trail was, like, you could see people's footprints, so you knew where to step. And it also meant that, like, a lot of the snow was already packed down. But there was definitely places where if you stepped, you would sink all the way in. And thankfully, we also have all trails, so we could tell if we got off the trail.
There was also places that people clearly turned around, so it was only us and a couple other people who walked through. It's wild that after that 4 miles, the whole exit back to the parking lot is uphill. 7,000 feet, and the parking lot is at the top of the hill. Whew, this is harder than a hike.
Hike was great. I loved it. So fun.
That doesn't even sound believable. Hike was great.
Hike was great.
Loved it.
No, I really did like it. It was in my top 5 hikes that we've done together.
It's crazy because based on your tone, hike was great.
Top 5.
Loved it.
It was top 5.
One of the best things I've ever done.
No, it was really cool.
You sound like a Prince interlude.
It was
Dearly
like,
Beloveds.
Yeah, Dearly Beloveds.
No, I'm sorry, go ahead.
It was really cool to be able to walk through the snow the whole way.
Yeah.
Even though it was challenging to walk through the snow. It was really cool. It was like spring snow, so that really like slushy kind of snow. And in places it was packed down. Other places we were sinking into it. But it was beautiful and so quiet and just peaceful back there with those giant trees. It's just amazing. I rate that hike probably an 8, just because perfect day, perfect conditions, sunny, warm, like warm enough to be in a t-shirt when you're moving, and in the snow, and just like those giant trees, you got to see it in person. So I think just like, I don't have another word for it. Like, they're so magical. So I'd give it a 7. Wait, did I say 7 or 8?
You said 8.
Okay, yeah, 8 because of the trees.
Damn, you just took one off? What made you take one off just in the matter of
If it was just like a regular hike with no sequoia trees and we were just walking through the woods, 7.
I think I'll also give it an 8. It was annoying. There were patches where, you know, you just sink down to your knee or your thigh, or you just like slip because it's very loose but spring snow, so it's melting. So getting traction in certain places, especially all of the times that we had to go uphill. I'm glad that there wasn't a lot of elevation, but I think there was added elevation because of how high the snow had piled. I'm gonna say it like this: if you come and there's still snow on the ground, I would give it a 6 as far as mental toughness, because there is a point where in the middle where I think there was just like maybe a set of footprints before ours, and it was just like clearly people had turned around before they got there.
Yeah.
So it was just like it was kind of hard to like follow the path. So if you don't have AllTrails downloaded and you can see the path, it is so easy with the snow to just get lost back there, because there's multiple trails zigzagging through. It is a paved path if it's not snow on the ground.
Part of it is.
Part of it is a paved, yes, part of it's a paved path if there's not snow on the ground. So that makes it a bit easier. But with snow on the ground, it was more beautiful, especially with the sun peeking through the trees at times, because there's a little bit of cloud cover. And knowing what we know now about how resilient sequoias are to fire damage and how they kind of need fire, seeing some of the burnt out pieces of sequoia trees or the ones that didn't make it made it even cooler. You gonna let that bug out?
No.
Put it on a napkin?
No, that bug's gonna keep living in the car.
It's gonna get too hot in here for a little buddy.
Well, he made his choices. You know, he wanted to be in here, and so now he's gotta...
I love it. You gotta live with the choices you make.
live with the choice you
You gotta
made.
live with the choice. At the end of the day,
At the end of the day, if you're a bug that comes in this car, you're gonna stay in this car.
there it is.
To any bugs watching this channel, you know what it is.
Like we always say, thank you guys for coming along on this journey. If you've made it this far, we really appreciate it. If you haven't subscribed, please hit that subscribe button. Please follow the channel. Anything and everything, always appreciate it. All of the eyes, all of the love, all of the comments, the likes, all of the things. Even if you didn't hit any of the buttons and you just said, that actually was pretty good. Thank you. And if you don't like it, what do we say to people? I don't think we've ever addressed people who...
If you don't like it, what are you still doing here?
Yeah.
Go live your life.
Get out of here. Damn, there's people in there that we love. They're just sitting at home with their arms crossed like, I don't like that. Wait, hold on. I gotta reenact something.
We gotta get the props. He's a prop comic now.
Yeah.
Well, this is
Hold
an
on.
involved
Shh,
bit.
shh, shh. I like that you get shushed and you have to say it. Like the camera's not rolling.
Like, you can't cut this out later.
I don't want to do a lot of editing.
Oh, okay. You got other things going on.
You gotta get out.
He's so busy.
You gotta get out. You gotta. It's like that scene from Belly. Everybody who does watching our videos and doesn't like it, they're just like, I don't like that. I have to drop the dime on them. I don't like that.
That's a deep cut.
Anyway, thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for tuning in. If you made it this far, please subscribe. Please hit the like button. Please comment. Please come back, because like we always say, at the end of the day,